Let's talk. Welcome back. I'm really glad you're here today. As parents, we often think our job is to guide, to protect, to nurture, and it is. But there's one part of that job that often gets overlooked: the ability to stay calm when our kids don't see us the way we want to be seen. And today, I want to talk about that. But before I dive in, let me share something that happened to me not too long ago. It was a random Wednesday. I'd had a long day. Meetings, emails, traffic. One of those days where everything feels a bit heavier than usual. I walked into the house expecting a kind of reset, the warmth of home. That little breath of relief you take when you finally step into your safe space. Instead, I was greeted by my child's bad mood. He didn't say hello. He didn't ask about my day. He didn't even look up. Instead, he yelled at me about something that didn't go his way. Something small, trivial even. And in that moment, my ego flared up. How dare he talk to me like this after the day I've had? I almost snapped. Almost. But something in me paused. And that pause, that saved the moment. Because what I realized in that exact second was this: my child's opinion of me in that moment wasn't about me. It was about him, his mood, his frustration, his inability to manage whatever emotion he was carrying that day. And this realization that our children's moods and opinions are not reflections of our worth became one of the most powerful lessons I've ever learned as a parent. As adults, we're constantly trying to teach our kids how to grow up, how to behave, how to become better people. But here's the twist no one tells you. Parenting is just as much about managing yourself as it is about managing your child. Because let's face it, our kids are still learning to regulate their emotions, their behaviors, their perspectives. And if we don't have a handle on our own emotions, how can we ever expect to teach them? Let's say it clearly. Children say things they don't mean. They react emotionally. They overstate, exaggerate, and even hurt our feelings. Sometimes intentionally, sometimes carelessly. But if we internalize every one of those reactions, if we take every outburst, every snide comment, every eye roll personally, we'll parent from a place of emotional defensiveness instead of wise leadership. And that's the danger. Because when we blur the line between their development and our self-worth, we get stuck. We become reactive instead of reflective. We lash out instead of guiding. You see, there's something I've come to understand. Being a good parent doesn't mean controlling your child. It means not letting your child control you. And I don't say that in a harsh way. I say that with love, with patience, with hard-earned wisdom. Your child is not your mirror. They are not your therapist. They are not your judge. Their job is to explore, to test, to push boundaries, to discover the limits of their world. And sometimes that includes pushing against you. And your job is to stay rooted, to stay centered, to be the steady presence they come back to once the storm passes. Because here's the truth most parents need to hear. You can't ride your child's emotional roller coaster with them. You have to stand on the ground, arms open, waiting to catch them when they stumble off the ride. I remember one evening, this was a couple of years ago. My son had one of those tantrums that comes out of nowhere. He was upset because we didn't stop to get ice cream after school. And in his 7-year-old mind, this was a betrayal. I became the villain in his story. He yelled, threw his backpack, told me I was mean, and never let him have anything fun. And for a split second, that hurt. I had just taken off work early to pick him up. I had spent the day juggling deadlines just to make it to his school on time. And here I was, being called the bad guy. But again, I took a breath. I reminded myself, his feelings are real, but they are not facts. And more importantly, his disappointment is not my failure. So I stayed calm. I told him I understood he was disappointed. And then I walked into the kitchen and started making dinner. Within 10 minutes, he came back, quietly, sat at the table, and just like that, storm over. No screaming, no punishment, no lecture, just space, patience, and the understanding that he needed to release something, and I didn't need to catch all of it. There's a proverb that says, you can't calm the storm, so stop trying. What you can do is calm yourself. The storm will pass. And that, my friends, is parenting in a sentence. Because when you stop trying to fix every mood, control every moment, or win every argument, you create the space your child needs to grow. You model resilience, not reactivity. You show them what it means to be strong, not loud. Let's talk about opinions. especially your child's opinion of you. Now, we all want to be loved by our kids, admired, respected. But children don't always see the full picture. They don't always understand your sacrifices. They won't always appreciate the way you hold your tongue, or the long hours you work, or the quiet way you clean up their messes behind the scenes. And sometimes they'll say hurtful things. Things like, "You don't care. You never listen. You're the worst." But here's the secret. They're not talking about you. They're talking from them, from their feelings, their limited understanding, their frustration. It's like standing in front of a mirror that's been fogged up. What they see isn't clear because they're still learning how to see. So don't hand over your confidence to a foggy mirror. You are the adult. You are the compass. You are the calm in their chaos. And your power is in not needing them to validate you. Let me say this clearly. Your child's disrespect in a moment of anger is not a reflection of your failure. It's an opportunity to practice calm authority, to show them what grace looks like under pressure, to teach them through your actions how to respond when emotions run high. Because here's what I've learned. You don't teach emotional maturity by demanding it. You teach it by embodying it. Now, none of this means you should tolerate disrespect endlessly. Boundaries matter. Consequences matter. But they should come from a place of leadership, not ego. Correct with clarity, not shame. Discipline with purpose, not punishment. Because you're not just managing behavior, you're shaping character. And character? That takes time. That takes presence. That takes you staying calm, even when your child is not. I want to close with something I've learned the hard way. You don't have to win every moment to win the war. Parenting is not about proving you're right. It's about raising someone who can be kind, thoughtful, and resilient in a world that won't always be. And that means sometimes you'll be misunderstood. You'll be the villain in their story for a day, a week, even a year. But if you stay grounded, if you love them through the chaos, they will come back. They will remember. They will grow into the kind of adults who thank you for the boundaries you held, even when they didn't understand them. So here's your challenge this week. The next time your child lashes out, the next time they say something that stings, pause, breathe, and remind yourself, this isn't about me. This is a storm, and I am the calm. Thank you for showing up today, for listening, for wanting to grow, to lead, and to love better. If something in today's episode made you pause, if it gave you a new perspective, I'd love to hear from you. And if you know a parent who's struggling to stay steady in the storm, send this their way. Because parenting isn't meant to be done alone. It's a journey, one with bumps, setbacks, and breakthroughs. And as long as you're on that journey, I'm with you.